say this before, but the biggest one where the enemy tries to get me with pride is when I'm listening to somebody else preach. I'm listening to a preacher on TV or on the radio, and they'll say something that I've said before. And Satan sneaks up to me and says, yeah, you say the same thing they say. You should be on TV. You should be on the radio. They're saying the same stuff you say. What a lie. Satan is a liar. And he will use everything that you see around you to make you think that other people are getting what's coming to them instead of you. You should get it. Rebuke that lie. Don't believe that lie. Because my Bible tells me that if I'm talking to one person in the middle of nowhere, under a tree, and I'm sharing Jesus, in God's eyes, that's just as important as somebody who's speaking to hundreds of thousands of people all at the same time. In God's eyes, it's all the same. So you kiddos, when we say obey your parents, do that. The reason you want to do that is because the Bible is very clear that it's going to be well with you on the earth if you obey your parents. But when you obey your parents, you're actually sowing seed that's going to bring lots of things down the road and blessings. And you're also staying away from this list of things that are evil. So, unthankful, unholy. And then there's a lot of uns in there in a row. Unthankful, unholy, unloving, unforgiving. Is it fun hanging around people that are unloving and unforgiving? It's no fun hanging around people like that at all. I mean, there's nothing worse than having a conversation with somebody and they go, oh yeah, well last time this is what you did. And they'll tell you something that you did 3 weeks ago, and you how you blew it. And they're still remember. It's like, let it go. We don't live in the past. We live in the present. We live in His presence. And this is a big one too. Without self-control. A little hint for you. When it says without self-control, it actually means a lack of God control. Okay? Because a lot of people think that self-control is me controlling myself, right? Because that's what self-control is. Ooh, I don't do this, and I do this because I know I shouldn't do this, and I do this. Okay? But that's actually not what self-control means. Self-control is actually, I give up the right to control myself, and I give that to God. And then a byproduct of that is over time, God teaches me to do what He wants me to do. But it's never based on my performance, and we're going to get to this in a second. It's never based on, oh, that person is so self-controlled. They they pray 14 and a half hours a day, and they go to church 17 times a week, even though, you can't do that. Right? There's a lot of people that think that that's what self-control, and in a second we're going to talk about a form of godliness. True self-control is actually internal. Okay? So, I used to go to movies that I shouldn't. I'm not going to tell you how long ago it was, but I used to. I don't do that anymore. And it's not because I did a really good job of reading my Bible and setting a goal that I'm not going to go to the wrong movies. And I'm going to... No. It's simply because I just was honest with Jesus. I said, here's the deal, Jesus. I want to go to that movie. But I know I shouldn't go to that movie. So you got to stop me. You got to fix my want to, so I don't want to go. When I do that, all of a sudden, I didn't pray that prayer just once. I prayed it over and over again. Every time the desire to go see something that I shouldn't see came, I just took it to Jesus. Said, Jesus, I want to do this, but I don't want to. Right? Jesus, would you fix my want to? And over time, he fixes it. And the coolest thing is when I share a testimony, I don't have to be afraid about, am I going to be able to keep doing what I just talked about? I said, no. Because it's the person of Jesus Christ that is in me that's helping me to not do those things. Am I going to be attacked? Yeah, I probably will. But I'll keep doing the same thing over and over again. I'll keep saying, Jesus, help me. I don't want to go there. I want to go here. I need you to help me. See how it's that internal honesty that gets us where we need to go? Not external trying to control how we look. I'm getting kind of close here, so I'm going to kind of jump down. I'll just pound away here. Lovers of pleasure. Oh, this one. Oh, man. Lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God. Jesus, forgive us for the times. Jesus, forgive us for the times that we are more concerned about our stuff, our pleasure, the stuff that we think that we can do, the stuff on our phone, the games we play, the stuff in the eating of food. Jesus, forgive us for our desire to be pleasured more by that than we are pleasured by you. Because I guarantee you, everybody struggles with that. Everybody. There's not one human being that doesn't struggle with the desire to want pleasure more than you want God. And again, the only way out of that is to say to God, is to be honest with God, just like Psalm 51. God, you desire truth into my innermost being. You desire truth. You desire the honesty of me to say, God, I need your help. I'm sick and tired of caring more about stuff than I am about you. And this has nothing to do with salvation. This has all to do with sanctification, which is growing up in your faith. So, we need to surrender. And then here we go, verse 5. Verse 5 just nails, if this is like somebody's pounding a nail through a board, and they keep pounding and they keep pounding, and then the nail just, the hammer just keeps pounding, and the nail, and it goes all the way through, and then there's a hole through. It's like Timothy is just getting after it, all to our heart, all to the consecration of our heart, the letting go of our heart, and not focusing on the externals. And here's what he says. Verse 5. Having a form of godliness, but denying its power. From such people, turn away. I can't say this any more strongly. There is a whole lot of form of godliness stuff that's going on in, dare I use the word religion? Dare I use the word Christendom? Even the word Christian. You know, if you go overseas, if you go to India, I've been to India, if you go to other places, especially a lot of places, they think that England and the United States are Christian nations. And I'm using the quotes, okay? The word Christian just gets so misused. It's even to the point where I always say to people, I'm a follower of Jesus. That's what I am. Because labels get so misused so many times. But unfortunately, there is a whole lot of form of godliness that's going on. If you go to church, if you come here to Maurice Amdick Center, if you go anywhere you go, and the reason that you're going is because you're concerned when other people look at you and see you going there, that they'll think something about you and where you are in your relationship to Jesus, I'm sorry, that's a form of godliness. Your concern about what other people think of you because of how you sing, how you praise, what clothes you wear, you know, whether you say amen a lot or all external stuff, if in your mind while you're doing those external things, if your concern is how other people are viewing you, I'm sorry, that is a form of godliness. That is not what it means to follow Jesus. If I decide to follow Jesus, my only concern is what does he think of what I do? What does he think about what I say? What does he think about how I act? What does he think about what I think? It's all about Jesus. It's not about what other people think. We need to do some cutting away of externals. Because the truth is, trying to do a form of godliness thing, right thing, to keep other people happy, only works when they're around. If you're trying to do the right thing, only because, you know, it's like, I laugh so many times. It's like, one time I was a youth pastor in Wisconsin, and I went golfing, right? And there was 3 people that were golfing, and I said, hey, can I join your group? And they were like, sure, no problem. And so we were golfing the whole way and having a great time, and they were cussing up a storm and doing whatever, you know, and we're on the last hole. We're walking up to the green, and they said, so what do you do for a living? And I said, well, yeah, I'm a youth pastor at the church here in town. Oh, all of a sudden the swearing stopped. All of a sudden the dirty stuff stopped. I'm like, and I use that as an illustration in a sermon, and I actually had somebody come up afterwards and say to me, you know what? Don't think of that as a negative. They were actually just trying to be respectful of you. I'm like, it's not about me in the first place. The whole point is God is omniscient, all-powerful, almighty. He sees everything. He sees everything you do whenever you do it. So why are you concerned about what other people who don't see you most of the time think about what you do? Don't be concerned. Stay away from externals. Focus on your heart. When you blow it, go to God. Put on his armor. Thank him for his forgiveness. And then say, God, now help me to keep learning how to do better. And God, help me to find some